Tony Savage, and I created Between Two Yetis, where we take our Yeti coolers all around the world and meet people from all walks of life to learn what it is that gets them out of bed. Our aim is to show the humanity in the world by giving people the opportunity to share their story. This is Nelson Dellis. He's a 4-time USA memory champion and runs a charity called Climb for Memory, where he raises awareness of Alzheimer's disease by organizing climbing expeditions up some of the world's greatest mountains. We decided, why not take the show up a mountain on one of his next trips? So we worked out how to strap them to our backs, got together some friends, and flew out to Kilimanjaro. This is our adventure climbing to the roof of Africa.
Yeah, give it a loud slap.
You got it.
Okay. And we are back between two yetis on day 4 of the Kilimanjaro special with Adam Korenfield. How you doing?
How you doing, man? Appreciate you knowing my last name. That was pretty uncomfortable.
Some people have some tough last name. Where is your last name from?
Korenfield. Well, my dad was born in Austria, and my mom was a little Brooklyn girl. So I'm kind
Austria?
of Austria.
Right, okay.
Yeah. You would never think that.
No, you really wouldn't.
No. He was born as kind of the Holocaust was going on. He was born in Linz, Austria, and they were escaping through, and eventually they came to America.
Good Lord. How old is your dad then?
My dad is 46. He was born in 1946, so that would make him now, in February 25th, he'll be 72.
Wow, so he was just...
He was just a young, he was, I think, 6 months. 6 months. They just had him in Austria.
This got dark very quick.
That's all when you don't know someone's last name, it gets dark really quick.
But it's amazing. I've been to Israel a number of times and I have lots of Jewish friends, and the history that you guys have, it's unreal.
No, there's definitely a lot of history. There will always be fighting between the two parties, but it's been around for a while.
Between the two parties?
Palestine and Israel.
Oh, Jesus. So, I mean, we don't talk politics on this show, but what's your opinion on what Trump's done with the embassy?
I think moving it to Jerusalem, I have no problem with that. Moving it to Jerusalem, he decided to move it. I don't think
It wasn't his decision.
Yeah.
It was done by Clinton.
Yeah, it was done by Clinton, and he finally authorized, to do it. I have nothing against it at all. I always think, one of USA's biggest ally is Israel, hands down for everything. Yeah. It's probably one of the most democratic nations in the world, and their most advanced technology, medical, engineering, everything. Google has one of their biggest offices in Israel, Amazon. You name all the big companies, they're all in Israel. Everybody's in Israel, their footprint.
But you know what? Nobody knows this.
Nobody knows this at all.
There's there's a Jew behind almost every single major tech company right now.
Without question. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
And you've got 20% of the Nobel Prize winners are Jewish. It's obscene.
You're probably right.
How well there aren't that many of you.
Yeah.
Officially. But it's amazing how vibrant and how well the community looks after each other.
No. I mean, everyone always takes care of their own, but it's one of those that, honestly, after anything ever happened to America, Israel was the first to send aid and be there to support. And it's not just USA. If there is something that happens in Africa, Asia, France, where over all the world, Jews will send money to them. It's just the way they are. Granted, you always support your own kind. It's just the way you grow up. Yeah. But it's also to give back to the community. And if you look, Jewish people are the first to raise after unfortunately any natural disaster. They're the first to, let's put money into it. Even locally, like Greater Miami Jewish Federation, after a disaster, they create a team and they're asking for funds. Has nothing to do with Israel, and it's not. They don't make a big hoopla about it, and they send the aid or whatever's needed.
Now, are you a good Jewish boy? Do you keep kosher?
I do not keep kosher, but that doesn't make me a good Jewish boy or a
Yeah.
bad Jewish boy.
Well, it's funny. I was speaking to a rabbi in Tel Aviv, and he said the whole reason that kosher was invented was to keep the Jews eating with the Jews. Because if you don't keep kosher, we can't come into your house. And so it's got nothing to do with health. It's got nothing to do with anything other than just keeping the community tight.
That's interesting. I never heard that.
No,
I never
neither
heard
had I.
that. That's interesting.
Because I always heard, it's always good to keep these things separate.
Meat
keep
and
it half
cheese
this and then have on
separate.
the
I
same
never
plate.
heard that. That's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a fascinating trip. I've been twice now, and it's just great. Have you ever lived there?
I never lived there. To be honest, I've never visited there. But during this trip, I've been realizing I gotta, if I can come here, I should definitely go to Israel, see what it's about. Because everyone who goes there, and it's funny. There's a program I don't know if you know called B'nai B'rith. They basically, it's a 501c nonprofit, but it really tries to ensure that every Jewish person gets a free trip to Israel. So if you're a teenager, people contribute, and the whole thing is to make sure every Jewish teenager experiences Israel. It wasn't as kind of big as when I was growing up, but now it's big, so they're really just trying to. Obviously, it's so far from the United States, but they're really trying to make it where it's a destination to go to, and they really want them to spend. And I've only heard good stories, from the people who come back. So it's like it's not even kind of a bucket list thing. I just got to go.
Let me just break a little bit of the magic. Jerusalem is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
It is commercial hell.
It's probably like a big city.
So the 12 stations of the cross where Christ purportedly carried the thing and then dropped it. It's like they're selling the most god-awful tat at every single inch, all the way up, and then you get to the Church of the Most Holy of the Holies.
Is it just a big city? I don't know.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
It's so commercialized. It's unreal.
Yeah.
The Kissing Wall. That is actually
the Wailing Wall.
Wailing Wall. That really was a profound moment. I didn't go down, but it was just like, my God, you can just feel the power. That's maybe not what the wall is, but the power that people put into that.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a place to just feel what it is. And then you got
something.
Muslims and the Christians.
And it's funny, what people also don't know is, obviously Israel's surrounded by, obviously all their enemies, and they're always constantly defending them. But
Since day one.
But within Israel, there's still Muslim communities, Catholic communities within it. And everyone's going about their day about, there's just...
I heard an interesting fact the other day.
Yeah?
Where do you think most of the world's Qurans are printed?
In Israel?
In Israel.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Right, so what do you do?
I sell my soul. I fight the IRS. I'm a CPA. So I try to basically help people not give as much money to the IRS as possible and get it back for them. I do a lot of international corporate work. I'm also now, last 3 years, been an adjunct at the University of Miami.
What's an adjunct?
Kind of part-time lecturer.
Oh, right.
Yeah, actually, the day we get back Sunday evening, my first class for the spring semester starts Monday night.
Bloody hell.
It's graduate accounting.
It's just going to be a full slideshow, isn't it?
It's definitely going to be a slideshow because they're going to be like, guys, I went to Kilimanjaro last week, and here are all the pictures. Class is in session. Oh, we're just a bit out of time. We'll hit it up next week.
Dear God. All right, we're going to have to touch politics again then. So the tax bill that just happened.
Craziness. It's definitely some tax reform was needed. Obviously, they wanted to really compete with the world, so they lowered the rate from 35 to 21% from the corporate perspective.
And was that 21 a give from Trump? Because he wanted 15, didn't he?
Yeah, he wanted a lot lower. And the truth is, you can give, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you can give all these deductions to people and get them more money back, but that's not how a budget works. You need some revenue somehow.
Yeah.
And there's some things. So yes, they did lower the rate, which is great.
The one thing that we can say with Trump is he's good with his numbers.
Well, I think he has people. I don't think him personally. I think
Okay,
his
he has
advisors.
he has good people.
I mean, I would think he would have good advisors.
It was interesting. Somebody equated this the other day. Trump's not going to be the best president in the world, but this is going to be the best presidency in the world. In the same way that Ringo Starr or John Lennon or Paul McCartney weren't the best musicians in the world, but they were the best band in the world.
It will definitely be. He has his stamp.
He has
That
his-
will
and the team.
input.
You take Rex Tillerson, you take
Yeah.
Betsy DeVos, you take anybody off the team. Individually, they're weak, but together, they're getting some shit done.
Yeah, I think it's. I think if he's willing to listen to his team that he created, they could do some good stuff. And I think there's just some egos there on all accounts.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's the unfortunate part. But regarding the tax reform, it's like anything. Even when Obama created stuff, it really helps the wealthy. He created a lot of deductions that only benefited the wealthy people. That obviously, as a Democrat, you're always trying to do a little social middle class.
One that got me on Obama was the tax rebate on electric vehicles.
Yeah,
Everyone went out and bought golf carts.
yeah. I never thought about it like that, but it's like it took, but you want to know something? You're playing within the rules. It's crazy, and I agree with you completely. But you're playing within the rules. That's why you're not breaking the rule. The rule said this. People take advantage.
Yeah.
It's being smart. It's being savvy. But the tax reform, let me tell you, just created a headache for practitioners like myself. Got passed the last week, became effective immediately. So
This
you're
is
just trying
great.
to learn
Everyone's
that.
going to want to come back to you now. And
Exactly.
Right, how much am I going to save you now?
Exactly. So it's interesting,
Right. How do you know Nelson?
I know Nelson. I met the Ginger.
He's a day walker.
Yeah. I met Ginger about 6 years ago. We went to the first original, we went to CrossFit together. We were in the same CrossFit Vita. We were the original 7:30 crew. We had a good crew together.
In the morning?
In the morning. It was originally 7:30, and it was just one of those things. We just formed a good friendship. Right away, we hit it off. We had things in common. And it's just been a wild ride. He actually invited me on his first Kili trip. I think he did it in 2014. So you're talking 4 years ago. I was 36 at the time. And it's like everyone else. I'm in. And then push come to shove. You don't do it. But I was like, 40th birthday.
Gotta do it.
I was like, let's do it. And it's been amazing.
Yeah. He was saying, have you enjoyed it so far? And it's not a yes/no answer, is it?
No, it's not over yet. We're getting up there. But
We
it's
can
just been...
actually almost see the top now.
We can. And what's crazy about the whole thing is, I don't know if you remember yesterday when we were at top of the mountain where it was snowing, it was 4,600. Oh,
my God.
nice. That's beautiful. We were at 4,600 meters, and the altitude for the summit is 5,895. What's crazy right now is I think we're at about 3,600. We've gone down. How
depressing.
crazy is that? We were about 1,300 when we were up top. Do you remember where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly. It was about 4,800 meters. I'm like, 4,600 meters. I'm like, we're
What the
close.
hell are you doing it in meters for?
Yeah, no, that's what the sign said. I don't know meters at all. That's what the sign said. And I'm like, we're close. And then I look at the sign and I'm like, why are we only at 3,800, 3,900 meters? Why are we going down?
Dear Lord.
And I think even tomorrow when we get to camp, we're only at 4,200. So 2 days ago, we're at the highest so far.
We got a long way to climb.
But it's going to be a good ride up. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'll see you up there.
Thanks, man. I'll definitely see you up there. Cheers, man.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Between Two Yetis, Mr. Juniverse, as well as AKA Senor Judeo.
This guy's setting us the opposite.
Senor Judeo reporting live from Kilimanjaro. Pan con pinga, se acabó el pan.